The first egg, which is likely not to hatch, is the very porous egg. I have 3 eggs here, which are very porous. You can see the 3 eggs have spots on them, on the shell. The spots are lighter. You can see the white spots are lighter. They're also brown, lighter spots. Now, these are pores, which are very many and which allow a lot of air and microorganisms to get in, which can contaminate the yolk. So these eggs, I put them aside when I'm putting eggs in the incubator. I select these eggs as eggs which are likely not to hatch. The second egg which is likely not to hatch is the double yolk. This is an egg with 2 yolks inside, and the reason they don't hatch is because the embryos of the chicks tend to suffocate one another, and so they don't grow to maturity. The third egg which is likely not to hatch is the cracked egg. You can see the crack there. There is a crack there. This egg is likely not to hatch because microorganisms enter through the crack and tend to contaminate the yolk, thus contaminating the embryo. Sometimes people seal the cracked egg with wax or Q-Tex, but I have never sealed a cracked egg and I have never hatched a cracked egg. So the cracked egg is not good for hatching. Also, the crack may affect other eggs inside the incubator by contaminating them, if at all it's contaminated. So it's good not to use the cracked egg as an egg for hatching. The fourth egg, which is likely not to hatch, is the rough egg. The rough egg is characterized by bumps on the eggshell and crust deposits also on the eggshell, which crust deposits could be an indication of calcium and phosphorus imbalance, and the bumps on the egg could be an indication of some infection. So these are some of the eggs that I put aside. I do not hatch them. The fifth egg likely not to hatch is the fairy egg. This is a tiny egg which usually does not have a yolk inside, and if it does, then the egg is too small, or the shell is too small to house a growing embryo or a growing chick, so it is not good for hatching. The sixth egg likely not to hatch is the elongated egg. Sometimes you find the eggs are much longer than they're expected to be, and this egg, that is a deformity, and sometimes it's caused by a defective shell gland or stress to the hens or some infection. So I put these eggs aside. I do not hatch them. The seventh egg, which is likely not to hatch, is the very dirty egg. This egg is characterized by a lot of dirt on top of the shell, and this dirt sometimes is not good because it enters through the pores and can contaminate the yolk. That's the embryo of the chick. Some people tend to wash the egg by rubbing on top of the shell. Now, by rubbing that way, the egg will allow the microorganisms to enter through the pores, and it's just going to make matters worse because it's going to contaminate the embryo. So these are the kind of eggs that I put aside. I do not hatch them.